Okay, it's the 15th of October and I'm doing a video. I've got a bit of windage here, so I've got to put you in my hat. I just tried to do a YouTube live, but the reception isn't good here. But I'll just show you my view. Is it working? Hang on a second. Okay, so this is the Katrine. This is the Avon Valley River. This is the Avon River. That's the Katrine Bridge up there. Viviash Reserve. Up there is the Northern Toojo Road. Toojo is that way. I can't actually see the phone, by the way, and Northern is that way. And we got the river. It's a beautiful river. Still a fair bit of depth in here. You can see Alvin and Zena are having fun in the water. And now the reason this video today, and it looks like the wind's subsided, which is good. Put my hat back on. The reason why I'm doing this video today is because I just tried to do a live and it wouldn't go through, and it was called Accountability Speaking the Truth. Now I've just been on the phone for over an hour with a really good friend of mine, and we discussed a lot. And yeah, I just thought good topic to bring onto my YouTube channel, so I thought I'll do this live/video and post it later. Accountability, speaking the truth. I had a very interesting experience yesterday that I was preparing for. Like, I knew it was going to be I actually knew it was going to be a tough experience yesterday. So I covered myself in the protection of Jesus' blood before I went into the environment. I did a lot of prayers, and then I had a beautiful one sort of role play me through over a phone conversation. Played me through how to respond to certain questions, and how to be with certain people. So that was very helpful. So when the situation actually happened and the inevitable occurred, I was prepped. I knew the way I was going to respond, and I had the protection of Jesus. I actually did the active protection of Jesus' blood over me before I went into the environment, and then I did some more prayers, lots of prayers after I left, to help me work through all the emotions that came up throughout that experience. And then it sort of continued on, and there was all these other different circumstances that occurred throughout the night. And it's just one of those. It was a what you call a crossroads moment, or not crossroads, but when you know something is a point of what's it called? Crossroads is what, but we knew which way it was going to go before. So it's not like we got to the crossroads and worked out which direction we're going to go. We already knew that this particular day was going to be pivotal. It was a very pivotal moment. It was a pivotal moment, and it had to happen. And it was unfortunately, it was what you call an inevitable crescendo, an inevitable, what's the word? Boom, 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 boom. Oh, there's a word for it, I know, but when something has to happen, not a catastrophe, a catalyst. It was a catalyst moment, but we already knew in advance it was going. Well, I knew very much so it was going to be a catalyst moment. But for other people involved as well, who were aware of what was going to occur, they also knew that it was going to be a big moment, a big day, and that's why we were sort of prepping for it. The aftermath is interesting. So I spent most of last night listening to healing meditation music on my phone to help me sleep and to help me relax. I've been doing just like real incessant praying for the grief and the ego-humanic responses to what occurred yesterday to be released from my body and taken out of my heart, like the pain and the grief and the worry and the concern, the fears, to be taken out of my my mind and my heart, so that I could sleep, and so I wouldn't get drained, and so my eyes wouldn't get hurt from the crying, and because there was so much crying happening that I could feel it was damaging my eyes and my brain. And because, this last 17 years, no, 17 years, this last 17 months more there's been a lot of crying. A lot of crying, and it's done a lot of damage to my skin around my eyes. It's really significantly aged me. So last night I'm saying to God and Jesus, like, please take this pain out of my heart and my mind. I'm a vessel. I surrender to your will. I surrender to what it is I'm meant to be doing. I surrender to your will of my journey. And please take... Zena, Alvin. There's somewhere down there. Come on. We're not near any roads, so it's okay. Come on. So basically Zena, Alvin, oh, there they are. Cool. Woohoo! So basically hello, darling. Hello. Well done, darling. Well done. There she is. So basically, Alvin. Oh my God. Oh, did you see that? Scared me. Oh no, that scared me. I didn't know he was going to come from behind. That was outrageous. Relax. Thank you. Go swimming. Quick. Go swimming. Here they are. I don't know if you can see them. Okay, so basically, I spent most of yesterday afternoon, last night, and half of this morning, just really actively working on not being egotistically impacted by the occurrences of yesterday, and knowing that what happened yesterday, it had to happen. It was like an inevitability. It just had to happen. Oh, by the way, with my hair, if you're wondering why it's so weird, it's because I've got salve in my hair, because I've got this hemp seed salve in my hair, or hemp salve, sorry, and it's made it a bit greasy, but I have all these wounds on the top of my head, and they pop up when I'm really stressed. I've noticed when I'm really stressed, there's 3 or 4 different spots on the top of my head that just become these sores, basically, and they're quite painful. But yeah, hemp salve is amazing. Makes your hair greasy, whatever. But yeah, I just wanted to share with you about accountability and speaking the truth, because there's a couple of things that happened yesterday. I was speaking to my dear neighbour, and we did just did a big debrief and a discussion for hours, and then did lots of prayers, and then I've had an hour conversation with another dear friend who I'm about to drive down to Perth and spend the rest of the day with. I'm helping her clean her second house, because her and her partner got 2 houses, and they're moving from one house to the other, and they're renting out one of them, and we've got to clean the first one to get it ready for them to move their furniture in next week, and this and that, rah. It's been sitting there empty for a while, and blah blah blah. So going to drive down there and help her clean, and then I'll be coming home. And I was going to bring the dogs with me, but I thought, no, if I give them a really good play in the river today, I was going to get down there early and spend the whole day with my friend, basically. And she said, no, and I was going to bring the dogs with me. And she said, no, take the dogs for a really nice big run, nice big play, and come down without them, because it's going to be boring for them, me cleaning a house for hours. And I was going to maybe stay the night, but I thought, no, yeah, she's right, leave them at home. They've got the big backyard, and come home later tonight. So I'll be driving home later tonight, so be it. So I'll be spending the rest of today with a really dear friend, and inevitably we'll talk more about this thing that happened yesterday and what we've been discussing over the phone for the last hour. And it's a big topic, and she gets it, and so does my neighbour. And again, it's another story of everyone saying it's accountability, it's word choice, it's what words are used, and how people step up for the truth, and step against deceit and lies and bullying and game playing and it's like there's this point where we have to insist on the truth being spoken. Okay? So I'll give you an example. I was at this gathering yesterday, and there was 2 people there who, when I first came to know them, I met these people through a stand-up group, which was when all the mandates and all the tyranny was originally starting to escalate. There was a stand-up group that was happening all around Australia for people to stand up for their rights and learn about their rights and this and that, rah, rah. It was a very powerful group, and through that I met a lot of people and swapped numbers and stuff. And then this woman was saying how she was going to have a party to bring some joy into people's lives because of all the horrifying crap that was going on. And I said, oh, my husband's a musician. He'd love to play at your party if you want some entertainment. And then her partner goes, oh, he's a musician, is he? Oh, well, I've got a band. He could join my band. And then I had to spend the next 6 or so months encouraging my husband to keep going there for rehearsals and learning the songs, because he kept going, I'm not good enough. Oh, I don't like the songs. Oh, I don't really like where the band's going. I said, well, stand up, tell them what songs you want to do, tell them what you love to sing, show them what you're capable of, have confidence in yourself, you're amazing. Then they brought another singer in, and he just immediately goes, oh, they chose him because I'm not good enough. I said, no, you are way better than that other guy. They chose him because he can play guitar and he sings, but he's got more confidence in you, which is why he's singing more songs, because he's got the confidence to play guitar and sing. But you are the better singer by far, so just show them what you got. So I spent many, many months trying to help my husband develop confidence with himself, with his band, and show the band what songs work good for his voice. I said, why don't you guys all just contribute, give suggestions of what... I was always giving suggestions to my husband to give to the band of how they could all work together. And then we would be meeting up every week for band rehearsals, and then the ladies and I would be eating food and drinking alcohol while the guys were... there was some ladies in the band as well, but anyways, the band members were rehearsing, and the ones who weren't in the band, we would be nibbling on food and having drinks and stuff, and we'd often stay over the night and blah, blah, blah. So they became friends, right? And, yes, there was things about this group of people I didn't like that major alcohol consumption. I found some of the topics of how they spoke were a bit full on, especially when they got drunk, blah, 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 blah. They're good enough, like a bit rough and a bit crude and a bit rash and a bit brutal and a bit negative and stuff like that, but overall good people with good essence. And yep, I can, couldn't be my complete quirky, cute little, soft little self around them, because they were too sort of hard nutty and too, after a few drinks, too sort of, I just realised I was dealing with a lot of alcoholics, and I grew up with alcoholism, and I know how quickly an alcoholic can become nasty. And there was this one woman in particular that would turn very nasty very quickly, but about her animals, not about people, but about her animals. And one night she just went into detail about what she wanted to do to her cat, like in detail, like cruel, macabre sort of torture type stuff. No, one of the dogs, because it had eaten one of the saddles, the horse's saddles, and not in-depth cruelty, or what she was going to do to this dog, like torture it to death type thing, but in detail, describe it in detail. And I remember going, whoa, this is actually demonic. And then I remember going, I kept trying to turn the conversation to something different. She kept bringing it back to torturing this dog that had chewed up one of the old saddles of her horse. And I'm like, well, so from that point on, that was when I really started thinking, I've got to be more careful around these people. So, in all honesty, I will say I didn't call them complete, honest, true blue, authentic friends, because there was something there that I didn't completely trust. And this is way before my husband stopped going to rehearsals. But also, before this, my husband was really like, I'm not good enough, I don't feel good enough. And I'm going, please keep going. At the same time, I'm thinking, dude, why don't you actually find another band? Like, I found you that band, I found you that group of people, but find yourself another group. Like, you are so good. You can find anyone. We just moved here. We're new to the town. And then we met this guy who's in a band as well, another guy. I said, join that one, help him out, work with him. He sounds like a good... Because this other guy was like, what I don't like about musicians is how much drinking happens. And I thought, this is a good guy for my husband to... Because it's all about the music, not about the partying and the drinking. And so I thought this is fantastic. So in all honesty, the people that were at this gathering yesterday, I had already, way before my husband stopped going to rehearsals, I'd already ascertained that there was something not quite right about this relationship and these people. And I thought, a bit of narcissism here, like the partner was a freeloader and wouldn't do anything around the house, and the lady was constantly complaining about he wouldn't do anything and saying to him, she owned everything outright and he was there, and she knows that he was partially there because she owned the house. And I thought maybe the alcoholism was partially to keep her unable, to keep her not motivated. She wanted me to do all this work on the house, pay me to do all this work on the house, and the guy didn't like that. And I thought, I'm sort of sensing something here about control and da-la-la. And then I remember when my husband and I were really amorous in public, like he would be really look at us with black eyes, like we'd all be sitting around talking to each other. My husband would sit on my lap and I'd be holding his chest and we'd be kissing. I'd kiss his neck and my husband would kiss my forehead. And I remember this man giving us really black looks. And I thought, yeah, a bit weird. So I need you to all know that. It's not like they were good buddies or anything like that, but they were all who we knew at that moment in Northern. So the first time when my husband left our home, about 24th of June 2022, he was still doing rehearsals with these people, but probably because it was like it gave him one thing to do that was of his life, because he'd moved down to his niece's house down in Dianella, or down in wherever she was, Greenville or whatever it was called, Grinnell or something, Gwelup in Perth. And the only reason I knew he was still doing rehearsals was he kidnapped our dog for 3 days and our pup, and just dropped him in the back gate without communicating with me. And our dog was so traumatised, he looked like a sheltered dog that had been abused his whole life, and it took me about a week to get him to recover from the trauma of whatever happened in that 3 days. But so I knew that he was doing rehearsals because it was a Sunday, and I was like, he didn't drive up to Northam all the way just to drop the dog off. He dropped through the back gate without communicating with me, just dropped the dog off through the back gate, through the lead-in, and and then my dog just running towards me looking all traumatised. I went, he's okay, still doing rehearsals. So I already know he was in contact with the people and still doing rehearsals after he left the first time. And I would assume that he said a lot of stuff to this couple, all right? So, and I already know how much my husband was lying to his family members, so I'm assuming he was using the same lies to this band, right? And they obviously believed it and obviously tried to, didn't want to hear my side of the story, disconnected from me immediately, dropped me like hotcakes, like I was dead to them immediately. From that point on, dead to them. Dead. Just dead. Dead. So they showed their true colours. And then when my husband came back 6 weeks later, I don't even think they knew that he had come back, and I don't think they know he'd come back and then ran again the second time, because we've had no contact for months. So these are the people that I knew that I was going to be seeing yesterday at this gathering, and I knew they were going to go, hello, how are you, and act all like that. I knew that. I just knew they were going to go for the sickly sweet scenario. And how's life? And that's exactly what they did. And in that tone, hello, how are you? Like that. And I went, I'm very well, thank you. So, but I'd had a beautiful one prep me for how to deal with yesterday. And anyways, all these conversations ensued. And then there was a discussion that happened afterwards between a group of people. And my dear one got given a snapshot of what was discussed. And my dear one said to me, yes, they were talking about you, and they said this, and this, and this, and I said, oh yes, that's like, yeah, no, Nadina, so and so had a falling out. I said, no, we didn't have a falling out. They dropped me they dropped me. They left me for dead. 1 minute I'll see them every week, and you know, we were in weekly part of our lives, and the next minute they actually discarded me and acted like I was dead. And then when I actually reached out, I bravely reached out to say to this lady, you know how you mentioned that if you ever knew someone was suicidal ever again, you would never leave them, because she had a friend who was suicidal, and she reached out and this woman ignored it, and then the woman died. So this woman at this, the lady of the man who's in the band, said, if I know anyone's ever suicidal again, I'm going to be there. I'm never going to leave someone who's suicidal ever again. I'm never going to leave them alone. I'll be there. So I thought, okay, because I know she's got that promise in her heart, I feel like she's someone who I could reach out to. And we do have something. When she's not drunk, when she's not out of it, she's actually a really nice woman. So I reached out to her and bravely said, look, when you're in Perth, when you're in Northern, I'm I don't know anyone here. I'm really isolated. I've, really rejected, really abandoned, discarded, struggling, this and this and rah, rah. She goes, well, and I had no phone. So I made that message. I had access to sending messages through Facebook Messenger when I had access to Wi-Fi. So her response was, oh, well, when I come to Northern, I'll see how it go, and we might be able to have a cup of tea. Just let me know when you're available. And I'd already told her that my husband had disconnected our phone. We had a joint phone account, and he disconnected my phone, and he changed his phone number. So I couldn't ring people until I got a new phone, which took me a couple of months, because around that time I also had no money. I didn't have any Centrelink, and I wasn't working, so I literally had no money. I actually had no money at all. So I was unable to get a phone for months. Anyways, which I let this woman know. And so I'm suicidal, and no phone, and no way to ring people, and no way to contact people, and no money to feed myself or my two animals, and isolated in a town where I don't know anyone. So she knew all of this. Okay, she knew all of this information, and we'd already had many months of seeing each other every single week, sometimes more than once a week, and it was such a glib response. And I already knew she came to Northern once a week minimum to do shopping at Spudshed, because she told me that. So she goes, well, when I come to Northern next, which I don't know when that will be, I'll ring you. And she already knew my phone was disconnected. She couldn't ring me. I'll ring you, and we can organise a cup of tea. So that was it, everyone. That was it. That was me being dropped like a thing of hotcakes, okay? And really what was happening there was, oh, you're suicidal? Oh, I can't deal with it. I don't want to have anything to do with it. And the partner was like, oh, the band's more important than anything else. We're not going to get involved in something that can impede the band. The band is so important. So I'm thinking, yeah, but without me, my husband wouldn't even be part of the band. So whatever. And he wouldn't even have been going to rehearsals. Like, he didn't even want to go to rehearsals. I used to have to go, come on, you can do it. He kept going, I'm not going to go. And so without me, he wouldn't even have gone anyways. But they don't know that. They don't know how much I encouraged him with his song choice. And I was helping him out with pitch and everything. He was learning all these new songs, and which he didn't like. And, I was being his muse and being his, listening out for where he could go lower or higher, or where he was stretching his voice too much. And, we were working together as a team for him to be part of this band. Anyways, everybody, these people, there was no falling out, okay? There was no falling out. They just dropped me. The minute I was in high need, the minute I was in a really dangerous, suicidal, really in need position, they dropped me. There was no falling out. And my neighbour last night, my friend today, said, yeah, people need to use accountable words. No, there was no falling out. I got left for dead. I got left for dead by these people. There was no altercation. There was no falling out. I just got left for dead by these people. Okay, that's the truth. So speak the truth. Say the truth. And it goes back to the same thing of years and years and years ago. The only Christmas I've ever done with my husband's family, when the sister was like, why do you have to live together? Why can't you live in separate houses? Why can't you just stay as friends? You know, she's crapping on like that. And my my fiance at the time, was squishing into me, and he's had his head down and he was squishing into me, like huddling into me for protection. And I had him on my left and his niece on my right, and a wall behind me and a table in front of me, and I just wanted to get away. I just literally wanted to get up and get away, and I didn't know how to get out. I was completely trapped in this table. I'm watching this lady just absolutely bright red in the face, like her neck was sticking out like this, her eyes were googling, bright red face, her neck, the veins in her neck was sticking out. She's going, rah, 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 rah. Standing up, she pushed the chair back and woof, screaming at the top of her lungs, screaming so loud. She was bright red, and she was vexed. I think the word is vexated or whatever. I can't remember. But anyways, she was just going rah, rah, rah at my fiance, and my fiance snuggling into me and squishing into me with his head down really low. And I just remember thinking, this is awful. Does this happen every Christmas? This is absolutely awful. And I actually was silent, and I just wanted to get away. But my fiance tells his the ex of the person that's made sure that they stay in his life for whatever reason, and there's lots of different reasons for that. So the person who he had 2 children with, they had this conversation. This lady and my fiance at the time's sister had this conversation, and this lady then says to my fiance, your sister tells me blah blah blah. And he goes, oh yes, yeah, Nadina and da his sister had an altercation. I'm thinking, no we didn't. Your sister was abusing you and attacking you on Christmas Day, screaming at you at the top of her lungs, to the point where her neck was sticking out, her eyes were going all googly. She pushed the chair back so loud, I don't think it fell over, but she went poof and pushed the chair back really fast and hard, standing up, gestating in a really aggressive manner, yelling at the top of her lungs. And her husband at times says, yeah, she does that all the time. And rolling his eyes and everything. Where was the altercation? There was no altercation. I was sitting there, numb, completely what is going on here? I want to get out of here, but I'm trapped, I'm stuck. My poor fiance, oh my gosh, he's obviously in terror and trauma right now. I need to protect him. I don't know. How do I protect him? Why can't he stand up to his sister? What the F's going on? This is my first Christmas with these people. I'm going, oh, yuck, does this happen every Christmas? I'm just there in shock. And then I remember looking at my fiance's niece going, what's going on here? And she stood up and she started saying to her mum, da, 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 da. And then there was actually an argument between the mother and the daughter. So my fiance's sister and my fiance's niece are the one that actually had the altercation. But my fiance tells the whatever you want to call the person, the person who had 2 children with, and then she just said, I'm taking these children away from you. You're a useless person, useless father. I'm marrying this guy. He's going to be the right father. The kids are better off if you disappear. So this person, and then when the second husband decided to leave the marriage, all of a sudden, my fiance becomes really important for money, to get money from, and to lie to him. Oh, your junkie daughter has stolen $300 from me. Like, how could she? I said, why don't you ring your daughter and ask her side of the story? Oh, how can I steal money from my mother if she won't even let me in the house? I haven't even been able to see my own kids for 3 months. Blah, 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 blah. And then when my friend at the time, who became my fiance, rings back the ex, they laugh about it. It's not funny. She's lying about your daughter. She's trying to steal money from you by lying about your daughter, like calling your daughter a junkie of a daughter, and also saying that your daughter stole from her when she never did. Like, that's not funny. You don't laugh about that sort of stuff. So all this stuff was in my head going, yuck. So that's that type of person that you're still in communication with. And you tell that person that I had an altercation with your sister. Like, why? Why would you do that? Why are you lying about me? There was no altercation. You were being abused. It was actually you being abused by your sister. And me and your niece were watching it going, yuck. And because I'm there going, oh, and I just remember, holding my fiance at the time and just, what do I do to protect him? How do I help him out? What F? And it was actually the niece, my fiance's sister's daughter, that had the altercation with her mother. And she says, it's because of you, I don't know love, and I've never been able to have a functional relationship in my life. Because this sister of my fiance couldn't cope with the concept of her brother being in love and not being a loner and not being, she needed him to be useless. She needed him to be in that empty house on his own, miserable and lonely. So she always had someone to go to. So she always had someone who needed her. And my fiance said to me, she wants me to live with her when her husband dies. So she just wants me to be alone so that when her husband dies, she's got someone to live with. So he knew the truth. He knows the truth about his sister. So where was the altercation? No. Why don't you look at it for what it is? You got abused by your sister. And why don't you say that to your ex in the truth of the matter? Oh, my sister abused me at Christmas because she doesn't like the concept of me loving someone and me being in a relationship with someone and me not being single and me not being a loner and sitting alone at home just playing my computer games and not doing anything with my life. Like, she can't cope with the concept of me moving on in life and me actually making my life work and me making my life amazing. Like, say the truth. And the truth of the matter is my sister was yelling at me. And Nadina was in shock about what actually happened. But actually, I was in so much shock, I didn't even register half of it. But no, he says Nadina and so-and-so, Nadina and my sister had an altercation. And it's the same when my dear friend said to his ex, about these two other people, Nadina, so-and-so and so-and-so had a falling out. And that's why there's weird energy between them. No. Those people feel guilty about being around me because they know they dropped me like a tin of hotcakes. They know they dropped me and left me for dead. So they feel guilty. They feel awkward around me. He goes, I noticed that they felt really uncomfortable around you. I said, yeah, anyone would when they know they've let you down, deceived you, and left you for dead. And it's like they don't even bother to hear my side of the story or they feel guilty. So, but that's not me and them having a falling out, because I still went there. I could have not gone to that gathering knowing they were going to be there, but I still went there. I still responded in a civil manner. I didn't bring up anything about what they did in the past. There was no altercation. There was no falling out. And that's why this accountability, everyone, my neighbour said this, and my neighbour and this has gone on for 32 minutes. My neighbour and my good friend that I'm about to see now, so I've got to wrap up this video. They said word choice and accountability for the actual truth is imperative. And I have been allowing people to say the wrong words about me too many times. So I'm the type of person that because people feel safe with me, they feel like it's okay to say or do yucky things to me, and then they think that I'm just going to accept it or tolerate it. And believe me, I have spent most of my life accepting it and tolerating it. And I'm sure many of you have done the same thing. And we've got to stop. So what I said to this person yesterday was, no, there was no falling out. They just left me for dead. That's what happened. That's the truth. All of a sudden, there was no relationship because they acted like I didn't exist anymore. There was no falling out. And if there was a falling out, say, so-and-so and so-and-so decided they didn't want to know Nadina anymore, or they dropped Nadina. They didn't want to actually associate with her anymore. But say it as it is. Don't say Nadina and so-and-so had a falling out. No. I had nothing to do with it. Everyone. And I know that many of you will resonate with this. No, there was no falling out. And my neighbour said, this is actually not okay. There was no falling out. You got discarded. You got left for dead. There was no falling out. Okay, a falling out is when people have an argument. And they go, well, whatever. We didn't have that discussion, okay? We never had a discussion. Yesterday there was a bit of a discussion, and these people actually, they show their true colours very, very, very quickly. Very, very, very quickly. And I still responded in a civil way, but they're feeling guilty, you see. They're feeling guilty. And so if someone's feeling guilty, they're going to try to put down the other. They're going to try to make themselves look better. Not everyone does this, but some people do. Okay? Me, for example, if I'm feeling guilty, I've got to get up now on my bum. Oh, I've been sitting on this hard ground, okay? If you must know. And the reason why I haven't been walking is because I've still got that bloody sore foot. I don't know if the video showed it, but yeah. So I've been sitting down a lot. I'll just show you the animals and then we'll wrap this. Beautiful. Yeah, it's so peaceful here. I love it. And I know you can probably hear that wind. Okay, so that's the Avon. So accountability and truth, everyone. Come on. Accountability and truth. And now we're going to hobble up the hill a little bit. Hop along, Cassidy. Hop along, Cassidy. Hop along, Cassidy. I just want to say, everyone, if you hurt your ankle, if you wear Uggy boots, I've got it bandaged up, pressure bandage with arnica and stuff, but wearing bloody Ugg boots, oh, it's so nice. Even on a hot day, it's really, really, really nice. Oh, they just shook all over me. It's awful. It's really, really, really nice when you have your foot softened in a Uggy boot. So even on a hot day, it actually works. Just heads up for someone who sprains their ankle. Ugg boots are really good shoe to wear. Anyways, yeah, accountability, everyone. Accountability and proper, authentic truthfulness. Like, say it for what it is. And you know what I don't like? Oh, no, I've left my lights on. Hope the car starts. You know what I don't like? I don't like when people bring the victim in as if the victim is part of the problem. Like, no, that's actually got to stop as well. That literally has to stop, hey, because when someone's a victim, hope the car starts. Fuck, can't believe I left the lights on. Oh, that's lucky. Zena, in you get. Ugh, the car now is full of mud. So basically what I want to say to you all is that part of our self-love, okay, part of us stepping up for ourselves. I've spoken to my neighbour, really beautiful Christian lady. I've spoken to my neighbour, and I've spoken to this beautiful Christian friend who I'm about to go down and help clean the house, about what happened yesterday. And there's a re-trauma going on because it so ties in with, it actually ties in with I've got a history of this, and I know many of you will have a history too. And the history is going to keep repeating itself. If we don't step up for the truth being spoken, we are going to keep allowing patterns to occur, all right, that actually are not good for our health, our mental health. So one of the reasons why I had to pray so much last night and play meditation music all night was because I had been re-triggered by pain from this drama and story of people either listening to lies and actually believing the lies and acting on the lies, or people actually being part of creating the lies. So people either believing the lies and not attempting to find out the whole truth, to work out a balanced viewpoint. So they hear one sentence, one word, one concept, whatever, and they take that as the gospel truth, I mean, that's idiotic. That's just stupid. We all know not to do that. But there's a lot of people that will just listen to one viewpoint and then they'll make an opinion on that. Like, really? And the other side of the story is those who are part of creating the lies. And, little Zena. So, in saying that, everyone, I just want to say, Alvin, relax. Sorry, he's almost ripping up the pillow. So basically, in saying that, just relax. So in saying that, what I want to say to you is step up. If you know that people aren't speaking the full truth, don't worry about the slander and the gossip. Don't worry about that crap. Let the slander and the gossip occur and don't get involved in that, because the truth always prevails in that regard. Like slander and if someone wants to believe a lie and they're going to perpetuate that lie, seriously, let them believe the lie if they want. But if you know directly of someone, like for example, someone saying that me and these people who have believed a lie and are treating me atrociously because they believe that lie, and they're not bothering to get my point of view or even having the courtesy to treat me as a human being, that is not an altercation. That is not me and them having a falling out. That is them choosing to disregard me. That's the truth. That they and I haven't even had a conversation over it to even have a falling out. There is no falling out. Okay? They are just perpetuating a lie and perpetuating a way of treating me based on a lie. They have chosen to drop me like a tin of hotcakes. That is the truth. They have chosen to discard me. That is the truth. There was no falling out, okay? I am not implicit. I am not part of them choosing to drop me like a tin of hotcakes. They didn't involve me in their decision. They made a decision from whatever they heard. They made a decision without involving me to get rid of me, to get me out of their life, okay? So I'm not in that. They discarded me very brutally, very awfully, and based on lies. So there was no falling out, okay? So if someone says, oh, they had a falling out, they are then part of perpetuating lies. No, there was no falling out. There was no falling out. I was discarded. Oh, so-and-so and so-and-so discarded Nadina, made a choice a long time ago to discard Nadina, to drop Nadina as a friend. That is the truth. Hear the difference? So if you ever hear someone implicate you in something that you were a victim in, I urge you to step up. And this is where our mental health starts. We stop people lying about us when it's happening in front of our face. So if it's happening in front of our face, we stop it. If it's already happening and it's out there, don't get involved. Put it in God's hands. Okay? This is where it's got to stop. We actually, if someone says, oh, I said da-da-da-da-da to so-and-so, and you go, well, hang on, that's not the truth. Why would you say that? That is where we step up and go, no. If the lies are already happening and the stuff's already happening and we know it's out there, we just put it in God's hands. But if the person directly in front of our face says what they're saying that's a lie, we actually stop it right then and there. Okay? That's all I can say. You might hear some anger and frustration in there, but we've got to stop it. It's got to stop somewhere, okay? The only way we can stop this psychological abuse of us is if we step up in our honour. We have to step up in our self-honour enough to say, stop lying. No, that is not the truth. No, that is not what happened. No, that's not the right word to use. This is actually the word to use. And you know what? That's not us being a bully. That's not us controlling. That is us saying, no, you will speak the truth about me. If you're going to talk to me direct, face to face about something, we speak the truth. Okay, let's leave it at that. It's a big topic, I know. It's huge, and we'll keep rediscussing it, okay? Because as you can see, I don't know if you can see it in my eyes, as you can see, it's had a huge impact on my mental health again, because we often get scapegoated. Those of us who are kind and open and loving and got the light in us, we get scapegoated a lot, okay? And it's got to stop. The world and God needs us to stop, okay? All right, love you. Keep well. Mwah. Bye. God bless.